Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now we're covering the pro opening round front 9 holes of the summer major tournament. This has been a struggle. You're probably looking at a minus 16 here and thinking there's no struggle, but there really is, because it's a tale of two tales. If you take a look at my other account here, there's a 4-stroke difference. Now, the only good news is basically this account right here, the shots that I missed, I was able to play this account second and make the minor tweaks to get the ball to go into the hole. So the good news is that's working out. The bad news for me is this account right here is almost just turning into a test account at this point, and obviously it's in very, very dangerous shape to not make the cut to the final round, and that would really stink. So I got to get this one moving on the back 9. I'll probably wait till tomorrow to play the back 9. I've been at this all day plus work, so I'm getting kind of tired. But we'll see. I'm going to play a few holes tonight, but I doubt that I get through the rest of the back 9. Probably won't have time to edit and then post. But it will be out very, very early tomorrow morning, as usual. Getting the front 9 out on day number 1 is a bonus on pro, because I typically do wait till day number 2 just to keep my sanity. But regardless, let's go to hole number 1. You'll notice here I did not pick up the eagle on hole number 1 on either of my pro accounts. How frustrating is that? Shot 1, 10% at max. Shot 2, 10%. Shot 2, 0% at mid. So shot 1, 10%. Take the elevation off for shot 2. Here we go. 6 top, 3 bars, a side spin to the left. Now, if you have an extra mile 9, you can, like I do, you can feel free to play full top. I did not utilize full top here. I'm trying to keep this one kind of consistent for everybody to take a look at. We do back our target up a little bit, as you can see. I got the yellow ring by the rough, but we're backing up our target a little bit because we are going to be pulling into the wind here. So, we just want to make sure that we don't pull into overpower. Just a minor flicker of headwind. So, here we do hit the ball with half a ball of curl to the left. And that's just, of course, to avoid that sand trap right there. But as you can see, we're not even close. So the closer to that sand trap we can get, the better off we are, because that means we're closer to the hole. So you can kind of tweak the curl on that one there if you want and try to play it a little closer. But this is shot number 2 if you're in thorn range, like I am here. The shot that you're seeing is played 5%. I could not get this ball in the hole. I did a couple practice shots, started at 10% elevation. I finally tweaked it down to 5% elevation, thinking that was going to be the key. I would say the biggest thing about this shot number 2 here is probably going to come down to yardage and slider. So if you're good with that, you'll have a big advantage. But if you're not, we need to go ahead and play it 0%. If I would have played that shot 0%, then that ball would have been in the hole. So that's the best advice I can give you there with the thorn. Now, if you're going to get into in-bringer range, so, if you get more of your drive, if you use some overpower, use more topspin, you could be in in-bringer range here. The bad part about this is we're not right side enough. So we're not close enough to the hole to get that nice, consistent ball guideline. This one is a little bit glitchy the further left you get. Now, I do go with full top. I do go with that 1 bar a side spin to the left, which is very important on this hole, is that left spin, because if you don't add it, you're more than likely going to miss right. This green plays right-hand heavy, it feels like, but here I hit a great ball. But that's okay with the inbringer. We get away with it. It's just coming in way too hot because it's too glitchy. And it smacks the pin and it bounces out. So that's that for hole number 1. Not a fan of it. Yet, hopefully it treats me better in the finals. At least on one account. Hopefully both. I'm going to play this one 10% at mid. This is another hole where I just could not get the ball to go in. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, to be honest with you. But everything I miss is right. It's getting very maddening. But watch this. I'm going to show you how right I'm missing. 3 bars of side spin to the left. A little bit of top spin. I was bouncing between a katana and a kingmaker. trying to reduce my wind, but 5.6 miles per hour is very low with a katana. Now look at this offset. I would say for a rough bump, this is a pretty significant offset to the left-hand side of the hull. I am going to combine that with an 1159 pull angle and a heavy 1159. Look at that wind arrow. Look at this. I've got this thing completely tilting to the left-hand side. That's almost like an 1158, right? So you would think that if I'm going to offset to the left and I'm going to use that heavy of a pull angle, this ball is definitely not going to miss to the right. And look at this. It misses by a mile to the right-hand side still. I mean, not too often am I completely stumped on a par 3 when I take quite a few practice shots. But hole number 2 has me stumped, and I sure do hope you all figure it out to get that ball to drop. Same thing with my opponents, though. Both my opponents were way off to the right-hand side, even worse than I was. Okay, let's start getting into the drops now. With the minus 16, you know they're coming if we didn't get them on the first 2. All right, this is going to be hole number 3. Here, I'm not utilizing full topspin because I wanted to make sure I was in sniper range. And after hole 1 and 2, I went through so many practice tokens and kingmakers, I decided, you know what, no more practice for a while. So I only went with 5 bars at top. I went with half a bar of side spin to the left. This is, again, is a situation where we're getting a little bit of headwind. So we're going to back our target up a little bit once we find our landing spot. And for me, I'm just trying to aim down the middle of the fairway. You see, I back it up a few yards. That way I can accurately pull my rings. And then I barely pull into overpower, just ever so slightly. I should have backed up to the plus 12 and 4.6, but I thought the plus 13 would be good enough. But that's neither here nor there. Just know, back your target up a little bit. And the reason that I didn't go with more topspin is because I wanted to make sure that I was in sniper range, as with the headwind, we're going to be playing a little bit of a different shot. We're going to be playing this bounce over shot. So obviously it switches from headwind to tailwind. That's something that I was not thinking about whenever I looked at it. My mind automatically went that I was going to back-to-back headwind. But here, I was able to play the bounce over shot twice because that's just the way it had to go. And I barely missed this one, okay, on my other account. And this is one that I was able to fix and get it in. So this is what we're going to settle on. We're going to settle on with about 2.8 back and 1.8 left. Now, I barely missed this one to the right-hand side on my first attempt. So I've tweaked the spin a little bit, and I've tweaked the landing position, which is why you really see me zoom in. I'm aiming, just shy of the hole and favoring the right-hand side of the cup. And you might be wondering, if I missed to the right-hand side the first time, why would I still favor the right-hand side of the cup? It's just because that's what I did on my first attempt. And so I was trying to replicate the landing spot, but only change my side spin on the ball. And sometimes that's a really good way to dial in your own shots. But you can see here that it did work out. It came in a little bit hot. I did use 3 bars of backspin my first time, and I thought I could get away with a little bit less, which I did. But, you could probably still do the 3 back and the 1.8 left, and you'll be good. Hole number 3, I spent a lot of time on, but I do think it's a really good chance for the Alba. Hole number 4, we do pick up an eagle, and on this hole, I'm going to go with the extra mile, and I'm going to combine that with the Hornet club for a rough bump. Not a club I use a lot. I do like using the runner, but I know that a lot of people in pro are not going to want to use that club. Not sure why. It's a very good club, but here we're going to go with the Hornet because I know that's what most people want me to use on a shot like this. Take note of the curl. We're curling until the left edge of the ball is touching the end of the adjustment target there. And we get this thing up the fairway for shot number 2. Shot number 2, I played 10% at mid. You can see that I'm judging the distance here. That's pretty darn close to mid without counting each ring. So I'm not doing that. I'm just going straight up, 10% at mid. I did hit this shot in practice, and then I did hit this shot right here in the real deal. My other account I missed only because of a great ball. Had I hit perfect, it would have also been in the hole. Really could have used that drop on that account too. But regardless, this is a very nice shot. I think it's playing pretty well. The only thing that's going to change, the shot for you is if you accidentally hit the rough and you roll out on your drive. But here you can see I do sneak it in for the eagle. All right, this is going to be hole number 5. This is another one that I just could not get in the hole. You would think it would be pretty easy to figure out a minimum distance adjustment with the QB. I mean, we got a great reference for a landing spot, yellow ring, top of the rough. Ball guideline going directly to the hole. Here we make our wind adjustment. 7.4 miles per hour, though, is really sort of unlucky, as I believe the highest wind you can get in pro with a Power 1 ball is 7.5. So, we really got the short end of the stick on this one by getting almost the highest wind possible. But we still do almost get it in. Speed is perfect. That ball just takes off and it just rolls on us to the right-hand side because it comes in a little bit slow. If the ball is coming in a little bit faster, right, with less side spin, it doesn't have as much time to veer off to the right. So that's one thing to think about. So on this account, I'm like, you know what? I really need a drop. So, need a drop bad. Let me try a Win 5 Power 1 ball. 2 bars of backspin, kept it the same. Kept the landing spot the same. Ball guideline going dead center. All right. Through the pin. Obviously a much shorter ring pull here. We're only pulling about 2.5 rings with the QB. Normal shot. Perfect ball. I mean, I've hit almost everything perfect except that one shot on the last hole with this account. And, oh my gosh, we get it so close. We get the zoom in, but we do miss at the right-hand side. That gives you a couple looks at it. One with a very low wind, one with a very high wind. If anything, it looks like we could probably just start to offset this shot to the left-hand side a little bit. I do think that since we're only using a Power 1 ball, this might be a good one if you're off to a rough start to take to the practice tee and really dial in, because this hole gives you a great chance for a hole-in-one. Hole number 6, pick up another albatross here. This one, 6 top, 2 right. And the only reason I'm using 6 top here, again, is just to appeal to the masses, trying to get you all something we can figure out together if you're capped at an extra mile 8. So, now this one is a little bit strange, okay? And I almost put one in the water on my other account, right? So, here's what you're going to see me do. We're going to go with 6 top, 2 bars of side spin to the right, 10% at max. The one thing I did on my first account is I played it 0% at max, and I just kept it at the plus 30. And that ball hit the rough, and I thought it was going to go in the water, but it didn't. So here you're going to see me back this thing up. I think I back it up 6 yards. Okay, no, I back it up. Is that it? Yeah, okay, I back it up 5 yards. Close enough. And I add more elevation. So I am playing this one 10% at max. And what I'm doing is I'm going with a full overpower controlled shot. So this was a topic on Facebook that I got tagged in. Maybe it was earlier this week about, so I don't remember what it was. Maybe somebody was asking about backing your target up to get controlled overpower. I kind of chimed in on it. I think this hole right here is a perfect example of how you don't need extra yards with the OP. You just need to hit perfect. So if you back your target up, you can see here by only backing up 5 yards, I mean, I do take this one at absolute complete overpower. You're going to see. And look how slow the needle is. It's like a regular shot. So I think that's a great example. If anybody's watching this who was, needing help on that Facebook post, this couldn't have come at any better time for you to see what people are talking about and how that works. Leaves us with shot number 2. Shot number 2 on my first account, I played it 0% at max. I barely missed it. So I knew that if I could duplicate the landing spot and play minus 5% and hit perfect, I should be good. I am playing this one minus 5% at max. I'm going to play it the exact way that I did on my other account, and you're going to see what I mean. I'm going 3 bars of backspin, and then look how short I'm leaving the ball guideline to the hull. That power 5 ball combined with the tailwind is really going to carry, and then you're going to see me zoom in on my landing position. So you can kind of take a look at those green squares, and I'm trying to visualize that ball going right into the hole. The ball guideline going into the hole, I should say. You'll see we do get a perfect ball. I mean, that ball rolls in, perfect for the albatross. All right, here we go to hole number 7. I'll tell you one thing about this hole is you can take a power 5 ball and you can play way over here on the right-hand side by those bushes like I did in the qualifying round. You can easily make it past the bushes with the berserker because I did that on my other account. Shot number 2 to pin is no good. So I did actually have an opponent sink an eagle on me by playing it over here, which is why on this account I decided to go ahead and try to mimic what he did. The only thing is I don't know what elevation that they were playing on shot 2, but I did copy their spin adjustment, and I tried to guess what they were playing. The drive is very straightforward, as you're seeing here. And then, when it comes to shot number 2, I'll kind of show you, what they did and what I tried to do. So shot number 2, it looked like to me they played 0%, but it's tough to gauge when you go and watch a replay. But they did go 4 back with 2 bars of side spin to the right, and they kind of had their ball guideline looking just like this, with the ball pointing to the pin like that. For me, I think the backspin, the speed is good. We just miss it to the right-hand side. So maybe we need to take a full bar of right side spin off to try to get that one into the hole. This one I do make. Again, this is a situation to where I made a very, very minor miss on my other account, and I was able to make the adjustment here and get it in. The adjustment was to play at 25% at max. So 25% at max. Again, another power 1 ball. You could probably use wind resistance balls, even like a power 3 if you wanted to. I would think. Because ultimately this is just we're putting our yellow ring at the rough. We're using some spin here and just making a normal pull. And that ball came in very nicely and snuck into the left-hand side of the hole for a hole on 1. It's going to take us to hole number 9. Hole number 9, I'm going to show you the way that I would like to play. I would like to play this shot right here. This is a situation to where I'm starting to get tired and I wasn't thinking. I should have went with 6 bars of top spin. I've really been trying to do that on Pro a lot to cater to everybody who's playing with an extra mile 8 to try to make this more universal. But for some reason, I went with full top. And I don't know why I did it, because I know that I could accidentally go long, and that's exactly what happens. 6 top would have been great. This would have given us a really, really good chance for me to try to dial in an albatross. But unfortunately, I didn't get that chance. So on this account, I decided to go, the safe route. And I do go full top because I don't care how long I go on this drive. I'm just aiming down this part of the fairway. I think we all know what we're trying to do here. But, there's really nothing to see on shot number 2 because shot number 2 stinks when you go from this side. But, I think this is a pretty complete walkthrough that's going to help a lot of people out on the front 9. I hope that if you're not a subscriber, that you do hit that subscribe button. Hopefully I've earned that. And if you do like the video, if you think it's helpful, please take a moment to hit the thumbs up before you leave and give it a like. Here, I have to do the bounce over shot. Now, of course, if you're playing with the P4 or P5 ball, you could just attack the pin. Still a very difficult albatross from this angle. But, you know, here I'm just trying to lay up. I'm going to end up playing it 1-for-1. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to see here. And the ball dies on me, but, you know, it eventually is a very, very simple wedge shot to pin that I pick up. All right, everybody, that is it for me. I will talk to you bright and early tomorrow morning. Best of luck, and let me know how you do in the comments.